Hi everybody, it's Crystal. Welcome to my channel. So today I have a stitch tutorial for you. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to do the almond stitch. So this is it might look a little bit intricate, but it's not at all. It's just made with a base of single crochet, and then the rest is half double crochet and slip stitches. It's actually quite easy. So here is the front side of your work. It does make a nice texture of a pattern. As you can see, these are kind of indented in. I've always liked this stitch. And then this is the on the reverse. I actually always found that the almond stitch looked good on both sides. So this is more, it's still quite textured, but you can see it does not have the round dip in like the opposite side. So the edges are nice and straight here, as you can see on both sides. So we'll go back to the front. It is a nice thick fabric. Work well for anything that you want to make. So why don't we go ahead and get started here. So for that particular swatch that you've seen there, I did use Red Heart Super Saver Ombre, which is a medium weight number 4, 100% acrylic yarn in the color Cocoa. So that's what you just seen there. And it was made using a 6mm crochet hook. Now the almond stitch is a 4-row repeat. It's very easy to do. It is done in a multiple of 8 plus 5. So what that means, you just chain in 8s, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, until you get to your desired width, whether you're making a blanket or a scarf or whatever. And once you get to your desired width that you want it to be, you want to add 5 more chains on. And we're going to go ahead and start with row 1. We are going to do a single crochet in the second stitch from the hook. So we do not count the one, or I'm sorry, we do not count the one that's on our hook. So here's 1 and 2. Go ahead and single crochet into that second stitch. And then we're going to work across the chain, and we're going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch for the length of the chain. So row 1 is 1 single crochet in every stitch until we get to the end of our row. Alright, so I made it to the end of row 1. And now we're going to start row 2. So rows 2, 3, 4, and 5 are the repeat rows. And you're going to see just how easy they are. So it is, like I said, a 4-row repeat. Now from here on out, we are only going to be working in the back loop of the stitches. All right. So we're going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and we're going to turn our work. Now working in the back loops of our stitches, if you look, you'll be able to see that the stitches have 2 loops. The one closest to us is the front loop, and the one furthest away is the back loop. We always are going to be working in the back loops. So we're going to do a slip stitch in the first 4 stitches, back loop only. Now you do not want to make them extremely tight, because we do have to work back into the slip stitches. So we don't count that chain 1. So we're going right back into this very first stitch, but we're going right way to the front here, and we're only going into the back loop of it. And we're going to do just a, semi-loose slip stitch, one that you can work back into. And we want to do that 4 in a row. So that would be number 1. Go to the next stitch, back loop of it, and do a semi-loose slip stitch. There's 2. Again, the next one, 3. And the next one is 4. Now we're going to do 4 half double crochets in the back loop only. So back loop of the next stitch, we're going to do a half double. So there's 1. Back loop of the next one, half double. There's 2. Back loop of the next one, there's 3, and back loop of the next one is 4. And now we're just going to repeat that, what we just did. So we're going to do 4 slip stitches, back loop only, So the next stitch, back loop, just a semi-loose slip stitch. There's one. Next one, slip stitch, back loop only. There's two. Next one, slip stitch, back loop only. That's three. Next one, slip stitch, back loop only. That's four. And then again, we're going to do 4 half double crochets, back loop only. There's 1, 2, 3, and there's 4. And this is what we're going to repeat for row 2. Again, it would be, remember, all stitches are always done in the back loop from now on. All of them. No matter what row you're working on, it's always the back loop. So we do 4 slip stitches in the back loop and 4 half doubles in the back loop. 4 slip stitches in the back loop, 4 half doubles in the back loop. And I will meet back up with you at the end of the row, and you should end in 4 slip stitches on row 2. All right, I'm coming to the end of row 2. I did 3 slip stitches. I have 1 stitch left here at the end, so this will be my 4th slip stitch in the back loop, and that will end row 2. And now we're going to start row 3. We are going to chain 1 and turn our work. In row 3 is the exact same as row 2. As what we just did. We're just going to repeat it again, but we're working in the back loops. Now, when you look at this piece here, you got to really flip it over here to find the back loops this time. Well, I guess you don't have to really flip it over. You can see them right there, can't you? Yeah, you can see them. Oh, sorry. Okay, so this chain 1 does not count as a stitch, so we got to get the back loop right here of this very first one, which is the one I'm kind of pulling out up here, and slip stitching in it, just like we're just repeating the row we just did. So we're going to back loop, slip stitch in the back loop of the first 4. And then we are going to half double in the back loop of the next 4. And then we're going to repeat it again. Slip stitch in the back loop of the next 4. It's always just very important to remember to not do your slip stitches too tightly, because we do have to work back into them. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4 half doubles, back loop only. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to repeat this pattern again. 4 slip stitches, 4 half doubles, 4 slip stitches, 4 half doubles, all in the back loop. It's just a repeat of row 2, and I'll see you at the end of row 3. All right, I've made it to the end of row 3. This is actually the back side of our work. That is the front. All right, so row 4 and 5 are actually they are the same. Not the same as we just did, but they are going to be the same. They're just opposite of what we just did. So on rows 2 and 3, we started with 4 slip stitches and we ended with 4 slip stitches. This time we're going to start with 4 half double crochets and in with 4 half double crochets. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. Remember, chain 1 does not count as a stitch. We're always working in our back loops. So into these first 4 slip stitches, we're going to do 4 half doubles into the back loop only. So there's 1, 2, 3, and there's 4. And now we're going to do 4 slip stitches, kind of going over the half doubles from the previous row, back loop only. Remember to do them semi-loose, so we got to work back into them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to repeat 4 half doubles, back loop only. So we're working into the slip stitches from the previous row. 1, 2, there's 3, and 4, and 4 slip stitches, back loop only, kind of working over these half double crochets from the previous row. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're going to repeat this all. Look, you got your first little almond made. We're going to repeat this all the way across. Same thing we're doing. Next is going to be 4 half doubles, back loops, and then 4 slip stitches, back loop. And we will be ending in 4 half doubles this time when we make it to the end of row 4. All right, I made it to the end of row 4, and we're going to do row 5, which is the exact same thing as row 4. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. See how easy this is? Sometimes things look so complicated, but yet they're just so easy. Even if it takes you a couple tries to get it, you'll see that it's extremely easy. So for row 5, we're just going to repeat what we just did on row 4 by starting and putting 4 half double crochets in the back loop of the very first 4 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then next is 4 slip stitches. In the back loops. Make sure that you do them, like I said, semi-loose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat it again. 4 half doubles, back loop only. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 slip stitches, back loop only. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to repeat this all the way across until we get to the end of the row. And that's it. You just keep repeating rows 2, 3, 4, and 5. Here's the front side of your work. Once you get some rows on it, you'll be able to see it take effect. Now, so once you get it as long as you want it to be, if you don't want it to be bumpy at the top, you would just, this is the row 5 we just did. So we would repeat row 2 again, chain 1 and turn. And this, if you repeated row 2 as your last row, it'll even out. You know, once you get as big as you want it to be, and you end in row 5, go ahead and do one more row 2 repeat, and it should straighten it out just a bit at the top. So this is where we do the 4 slip stitches. We start in the back loop only. And then 4 half doubles into the back loop. Just remember that it's always worked in the back loop, all right? All the stitches are always worked in the back loop, and they're worked in groups of 4. 4 half doubles, 4 slips. 4 half doubles, 4 slips. Rows 2 and 3 are exactly the same, and rows 4 and 5 are exactly the same. Very, very interesting textured stitch. Anyways, this is how you can end it to make it look a little straighter. I'm not going to go all the way, but it looks a bit straighter at the top than what it did. And that would be good enough if you ended it like that, that you could go around, if you were making a blanket or something, then you could even it out with a row of single crochet, you know, all the way around. But yeah, isn't that pretty? I'm going to set that to the side and bring back the big piece. Done in the pretty ombre yarn. Isn't that gorgeous? So this is what it looks like after a few repeats. You know, starts to look like this. You got your little divots kind of catty corner from each other. It's such an interesting stitch, and it's nice and solid too. Beautiful, beautiful. Looks good in that brown, don't it? I sure do love brown. So I hope that you enjoyed my tutorial, and remember, this is a nice easy stitch, and it works up, you know, relatively quickly. I thought, I mean, I didn't think it was too bad. And if you feel like you're having trouble with it, do not give up, because trust me, once you get it down, you just be going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, making this beautiful pattern. What a blanket that would make! All different colors you could choose from, scarves. You know, you can make anything that you wanted. But that's it. I hope that you enjoyed. And please look below in the description box. There's a link to all my other tutorials. I have so many tutorials, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I put them on all the time. And we also like to talk about yarn. So please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, that like button, leave me a comment below, and I'll see you on my next video. Remember, you got this, all right? It's easy peasy. Bye, guys.